26% on the nation report that the percentage pupil from 12th grader for the subtraction in math. In America, we had everything as an exceptional country, but the 26 sound exceptional. To you? Raise your hand if you think as the country we need to do way better than that. I am with you. We all need math, for why are so many kids confused by us? It is because only 26% of people are hardwired from that. The 70% are not. After working with thousands of kids, I can tell you this is the case at all. Kids don't understand math because we have been teaching in the humanistic subject. But if we make math human again, it would start to make sense again. You are probably wondering, how is math in every human in the first place? So, think about it. Math is a human language just like English, Spanish, and Chinese, because it allows people to communicate with each other. Even in the ancient times, people need the language of math to conduct trade, to build a monument, and to measure the land for farming. This idea of math, the language, isn't actually new. A great philosopher once said, the laws of nature are written in the language of mathematics. So you see, even Galileo agreed, isn't it? But somewhere along the line, we are taking the language of math with about the real world around us, and we abstract it beyond the recognition. And that's why kids they get confused. Let me show you what it means.
We'll see this third grade Californian math standard. And people make sense when 8-year-old understand the fraction 1 over b as the quantity formed by one part when a whole is partitioned into b equal parts. Understand a fraction a over b as the quantity formed by a parts of size 1 over b. And if you give this description to an 8-year, you probably get reaction like this. To a math expert, this standard makes sense. But to a kid, it's an absolute torture. I tell this example specifically because the fractions are the foundational to algebra, trigonometry, and even calculus. So kids don't understand fraction in the elementary middle school because it had help for the way to help them in the high school. But there's a way to make subtraction simple and easy for kids to understand. Yes, just remember that math is the language and use that to feel the match. For example, when I teach first grader how to add the subtraction, I start with the apple plus listen. For say yes, 1 apple plus 1 apple. And people often say 2 with the partly correct. Have them include the word as well as with the math of the language, but not just 2. It's 2 apples. Next is 3 pencils plus 3 pencils. You are all know that pencils plus pencils is pencils. So everyone, how many pencils? 5 pencils. 5 pencils is right. And the key is you include the word. I tried to submit with my 5 years old niece and won't. After she's added pencils and pencils, I asked her what 4 billion plus 1 billion, and my aunt overheard in the distance. She scolded and said, "Are you crazy? She's been kindergarten. How's she supposed to know 4 billion plus 1 billion? I'm done it." My niece Vanessa counting looks up and says, 5 billion? And I say, that's right, it is 5 billion. My aunt stood ahead on that, because she didn't expect that from the 5-year. But all you have to do is take a language approach, and math become into it is, and easy to understand.
Then I asked her a question that kindergartner definitely not supposed to know. Plus 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3. And she immediately answered 3 over 3. So as you are wondering, how can she possibly know that? When she doesn't know about the numerator and denominator yet, you see, She wasn't thinking about numerator and denominator. She solved the problem this way, and she used 1 apple plus 1 apple as her analogy to understand 1 over 3 plus 1 over 3. So even a kindergartner can add subtraction. You better believe that every 3 grader can do it as well. Just for fun, I asked her an algebra question: what 7x squared plus 2x squared? And then the 5-year collectively answered 9x squared. And she did it any exponent rules to figure that it out. So when the people say that we are either weird or not, it's not true. Math is a human language, so we have all the ability to understand this. We need to take a language apart too much urgently, because too many kids are look, and they are anxious about math, and it doesn't have to be that way. I work with an angry, frustrated high school student, one who could pass the algebra because she only knew 44% of the multiplication task. I told her that suck a kid of weird only knowing the 44% of the alphabet, holding me back. She could pass her on public relation, and she had no confidence in that, as the rest of the teenager had confidence in herself. I told her, we have to start with the multiplication, because once you know all of you have with your part, everything get easier, and we be having a fast park every happy ride in Disneyland. What do you think? And she said, okay.
But she systematically learned the timetable in 4 weeks. And yes, even a multiplication has the language embedded in it. You'll be surprised how many kids don't realize 7 times 3 can be spelled out as 7 times 3, which just means 3, 7 times. Just like that. So when kids see it the way, they quickly realize the repeated addition is low and infinite. So they gradually memorize that 3, 7 times all will give you 21. So for this teenager who was risk of dropping out, becoming fluent and confident in multiplication was a game changer, because from the first time she could focus on a problem solving instead of counting on her finger. I know she had the corner when she figured out that a 2-year car lease at $445 a month would cost you $10,680. And she looked at me disapprovingly and sighed, Mr. Poliso, that's expensive. At that moment, math was no longer causing problem for her, but she was using math to solve problem as a republic adult would. As an educator, it's my duty to challenge kids to reach higher, so I leave you with the challenge. Our country is stuck at 2016% perfect, and I challenge you to fast the number high. This is informed because mathematical thinking not only boiling your mind, but then get it into element and wild fortune the days X. With the challenge can be a sample as apples plus apples. Is the which this math a human language? Then we will get the sun the later. Thank you.